So, I thought you might be interested in this subreddit post that I found on the relationships advice. So, it starts off, my wife and I have been married for 3 years. Marriage has been horrible for me in the last year. My wife is always angry, negative, lazy, and blames everything that goes slightly wrong in her life on somebody else except herself. I'm a very outgoing and motivated person and like to go out a lot. My wife is less outgoing, but used to always try and make an effort to go out together and have fun. For the past year, she hasn't done anything in our marriage. She is addicted to her phone and TikTok and barely pays attention when I'm talking or we are doing something. We barely go out anymore, and if we do, she always finds something to get angry at, like a waiter taking a little too long. When we're out eating, she is on her phone watching TikToks and barely communicating with me. She curses in every other sentence she says and huffs and puffs if she has to do something that normal grown adults have to. We have also not been intimate for the past 6 months, and it doesn't look like something is going to change. I always tell her how much I appreciate her and that I love her and try to do things together. But she always shuts me down when I suggest doing something because she is tired, then proceeds to watch Netflix until 2 a.m. She never shows any affection or appreciation towards me. For the past year, I have tried to communicate to her that something needs to change in our marriage, but she just gets angry and avoids the conversation instead of talking. It has gotten to the point that I have stopped caring about our marriage and have just been going along and focusing on my personal life and goals. My wife's sister, Elle, has recently gotten out of a long-term relationship and has moved in with us temporarily. Elle is the complete opposite of my wife. She's happy, vibrant, talks, and just fun to be around. Ever since she moved in, we have been spending a lot of time together because my wife doesn't do anything else than watch Netflix and talking to her friends on FaceTime when she is home. Okay, on the rare occasion she's not doing one of these things, she is out with her friends. Elle is a very active person, so we do a lot of activities together. She joins me when I go to the park to get some fresh air. She helps me cook when I'm preparing dinner and even works out with me in my home gym. I always try to get my wife to tag along with us, but she never does. Spending all this time with Elle has totally changed my mood. Being around a person that is positive and doesn't complain about everything in their life is so refreshing and fun. But don't get the wrong idea. We have never done anything inappropriate. We just become really good friends that lift each other up. The past couple of months since Elle moved in have made me realize how unhappy I am in my marriage. Having someone around you that is constantly complaining, cursing, and angry drains every bit of energy you have. It's depressing, and that's not how I want my life to be. I want to be with someone positive who shows that they care about me and wants to have new experiences with me. I've tried so hard in the past year to make my marriage work with my wife, but I just get shut down. I don't feel love anymore and appreciated, and I don't want to be in this position anymore. I want to divorce so I can move on with my life and find someone who actually loves me and cares for me. I have officially checked out of my marriage and don't want to turn back anymore. I'm just not completely sure how I should go about the situation. I know for a fact that I'm going to get trashed by friends and her family for leaving my wife, and then I'm somehow going to come out as the bad guy. I want this process to be as clean as possible, but I'm not sure how.
Well, is he saying that everyone else doesn't see the way he's talking is as if there's been a change in character this past year? He's not really indicating if anyone else has noticed a change in her. But I don't think there's going to be an easy way for you to be a good guy. Or
no, dude, it's going to be messy.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. It's going to be messy, but you need to leave. If this is, even if you're giving us some kind of filtered impression of what the relationship is, and maybe you've got, because, we're only hearing one side of the story.
Yeah.
Well, you could be a little shit yourself. We don't know that, but we're just making the assumption based on what you're saying.
By the way, he checked out.
He's checked out, and she's obviously checked out. She's obviously out of it. She doesn't give two shits. The fact that you're spending all this time with her sister and she's not bothered and she doesn't seem to give a rat's ass about whether you're spending all this time with another female, let alone with her sister. I mean, questions would, for a normal woman, questions would be asked. Like, why are you spending that much time? There's limits.
I think both of them checked out. It just no one wants to have the conversation.
Yeah, I think that's what it boils down to. You've just got to be the one to turn around and say, look, you know what? This isn't working, and you know it's not working. And the fact that you haven't had sex in 6 months, those are just red flags, glaring red flags. Either she's getting it from someplace else or she has no interest whatsoever in you.
Yeah. I mean, they both checked out. They just, nobody wants to have the uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah.
And
if you're worried, no,
they're roommates.
And I think that if you're worried about how your friends will react, if they react badly to you, or they blame you, or she blames you, and they just blanket believe everything that she says, then they weren't your friends in the first place. They were never going to be. They were never your friends. They were just, you were kind of the acquaintance that they had to deal with while they had a relationship with your soon-to-be ex-wife.
But then also, what friends do they have if she doesn't go out much?
Well, he's also worried about how her family will react. What the fuck do you give a shit about how her family will react? If you're not going to be with her, what do you care?
Well, she's not happy. He's, whether he's there or not, I don't think she cares.
No, of course. I mean, she loves her TikTok. She's getting all the love and affection, I'm assuming, from her TikTok and her from her, whatever, her little group chats with her friends. So at the end of the day, and this is, look, to be honest with you, it's only a 3-year relationship, and that was into the first part of the 3rd year. What we're saying is that after 2 years, she's decided she's
36. Does she even want kids?
Yeah.
So you better check out before even that comes into the scenario.
Well, if she's not bothered, and obviously the great thing that you've got in your favor is that you don't have any kids. You're a young guy.
And obviously the family would know that he's spending a lot of time with the sister as well.
Yeah, but, with family, you might sort of turn a blind eye because you're thinking, well, everyone seems happy. We're all playing happy families and there's no issues. He's obviously not done, or he says he hasn't done anything with the sister. They've not done anything inappropriate. So that's good on him. And it's good that he hasn't sort of pursued any kind of, considering the amount of time that they spend.
Even though there might be nothing, you as a family, if you're coming around and you're seeing is always the brother-in-law with the sister and the wife herself is never around.
Or just checked out.
Won't you even ask, is everything all right with you guys?
It depends on how close the family is with everyone. For me, all I got to say is...
How different is she when other people are around? Well, that it's going to be such a shock that he's so worried that friends and family will judge him.
There's that, and the fact... But the truth of the matter is, what does he care? If he's already this unhappy, it's so early on in the marriage. When I say 3 years is nothing in a marriage, right? It's the early stages. You're still very much or you should be at least very much within the kind of honeymoon period of a marriage, especially when you don't have any kids. And if things are starting to go sour already without the pressure of kids, and you don't seem to have any kind of financial problems from what you've indicated, then it's a no-brainer. You need to just leave. And yes, it's going to get messy. And yes, you're probably going to lose some friends on the way. And yeah, her family's probably going to hate you. But what the fuck do you give a shit about her family hating you?
Well, you're living with her, not the family.
Yeah, well, no one, they're not lining up to suck your dick. It's her. And apparently she's not lining up to suck your dick either. So, either way, just cut your losses, move on.
And to be honest, is he scared of her? Because he tries to have a conversation. She gets angry and avoids the conversation, and they just go back to how she wants things done. So I don't think he's comfortable in this anyway. He seems to be he assumed a more submissive role in the relationship. Oh, she gets angry, she's not listening, and we just do how she wants to do to keep her kind of
Yeah, I mean,
happy. So
he needs to grow some balls and leave, and that's it.
Cut your losses.
And if you're going to be the bad guy, if people are going to think you're the bad guy, so be it. They're not the ones tickling your balls in the middle of the night. They're not going to, if they're not giving you the attention that you want, and they don't understand the situation you're in and how it's affecting you negatively.
The thing is, obviously we don't know how she was before.
Yeah.
And it's only fine. He's only talking about the 3 years of marriage. How long were they dating before that, or even living together?
Well, it doesn't matter. The fact is that
but in a sense, it's like, has she changed and put on a show of this is how I am?
Well, from what I remember, he did say that he's tried to approach the fact.
It's like, what has changed that all of a sudden she's saying everything he wants her to do? She's tired.
Maybe she's getting it someplace else. That's the first thing that I'm thinking is maybe she's getting it or
because she's lazy, but she still goes out with her friends.
Yeah, if you've not had sex in 6 months and she's not bothered, and it's not something that she seems to care about, she's either getting it from someplace else or she's just sick of the sight of you. And she just simply doesn't want to have anything to do with you.
Yeah.
And she's not bothered, but she's at the same instance, she doesn't want to be the one to say, "Oh, I need to get a divorce." She checked out
long before him. It seems like, but she just doesn't want to have the conversation of going through the logistics of, okay, we're separating. She's comfortable if he's the one that cooks. Okay, I come home, I watch my Netflix, watch my TikTok, chat with my friends, go out with my friends. It's just a relationship of convenience, but I just don't want I don't want to do anything fun that involves him.
Yeah, so I think that's us. Leave and be done with it and just suffer the consequences.
But ultimately, you'll build a better life.
Yeah. In a few years' time, you'll forget about this, or at least you would have gained enough experience to know that your next relationship, what to look out for. And
you can't live your life based on what other people think of you. That's not the way. Because after, you're just going to end up being the one being resentful.
Nah, and I think that it's not just that. If you've got...
well, that's what he says. Yeah. Oh, I don't want to be... They'll think I'm a bad guy.
What he needs to do is grow some balls. I think that's an excuse. It's bullshit what he's saying. I think it's an excuse for him to sort of like not pull the plug or not take the leap, basically.
Yeah.
Probably he's hoping that she's going to do something to instigate the breakup. But now he's the one that has to do the dirty job. What I say is, if things are that bad, there's no point carrying on.
Because on top of it, right now he's spending more time with the sister. If something does develop, he's going to end up looking at the bad guy because he cheated. No,
yeah, but that's the thing. The one positive he's got is the fact that he's kept that, as far as he can. He's telling us he's kept that relationship platonic. But all it's done
I know,
is,
but then
no.
The longer he spends and he turns around and says, "Oh, I want a divorce," then they're gonna people are gonna be like, "Oh, but it's so sudden." Oh, what happened? Oh, he was spending a long time with my sister. Oh, maybe that's what that is.
Maybe stop that relationship as well, so that if you truly want to get out of this without too much grief or bad publicity,
bad rep,
then stop that as well. Unless you have some kind of feelings with the sister, in which case, it's just the whole
is
thing
it worth
is going to be. No, the whole thing.
Well,
the whole thing is then you trying to make a clean break. That's not going to happen ever. So it is what it is.
Breakup is a breakup.
Now it's just a question of what's it called? What's the thing control? What's that thing called?
Damage control. Damage
control, basically. So if you start boinking the sister, then that's going to be impossible to sort of get any level of damage.
Why is it going to be such a shock to his friends? Doesn't he talk to his friends about this?
Yeah, that's something to know. Why aren't you talking to your friends about this? What's the issue that you're keeping everything secretive? What's the point? I mean, you seem to be obsessed with what other people think, which is...
That's no way to live.
You're right.
So I think speak to your friends. That way they're aware. But either way, you got to pull the plug.
Yep. Definitely agree with you.
Good luck.
Yep. If you liked our content today, please like and subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments.